Welcome back to Sierra 5 Kilo Oscar Victor channel. It was 14th of October 2023 and it was a great day to become. 11 of us attended event that is called Become a Pilot for One Day. At first we got some technical knowledge about aircraft, why it flies, how it flies, and some theoretical knowledge also about instruments, and of course we were flying with an instructor that was helping us during the takeoff especially and landing. And we started in airfield Lesce, Bled Lesce, with some checklists. We took close check of the aircraft from the outside, and then we went on the inside where we did some checking also inside. And after all, we were ready to taxi. And I must say, even though there were 11 of us, the event was running smoothly, and it was just for me a perfect day. Let's say a day that the dreams came true. So, motor is running, and I just want to say that I tried to fly the same route I took on 14th of October 23, so that we can compare also details in simulation, and I took some photos when my colleague was flying, so that you can see also similarity between Microsoft Flight Simulator and also the real deal. We flew over Bled, and then in some valley to Mojstrana, and over Jesenice for final approach on Lesce Bled airport. We took off from runway 14. We will make the same flight path as I took it today in a real aircraft. Of course, we had some help on takeoff and landing. So here we are. Let's contact the traffic. Says that we will be taking off runway 14 to the north. Let's say to the south.
Lima Juliet Bravo Lima traffic Cessna Sierra 5 Kilo Oscar Victor taking off runway 14 right departure to the south.
So nobody's landing. Strobe light on and flaps one down. Here on the top right corner, this is actual view of the instruments we had in Cessna 172 that we flew. The winds were just like that. We got it from the right side. So here we are. We can turn on landing lights and nav lights. We are on takeoff speed. Of course, in real life we did not dance so much with rudder on the runway, because we had a lot of help on takeoff and initial climb
70
from
knots.
our instructors. Focus during our flight was on turn coordinator, and this ball, this black ball, we were trying to keep that ball between these two lines. And I must say, on such windy day as it was not an easy task.
We are now at height of a school circle at 2.6. We'll put flaps up, landing lights off, fuel pump off. So, let's make a turn and still climb. With about and this is something I never took much meaning, and it is sort of most important thing. So I will level up the aircraft. We will fly towards Bled, and also I need to adjust this ball in the middle of the instrument. So here we are. Now we can fly and climb. This is perfect. I will reduce thrust a little bit. It was the same windy weather as we flew today. We had some turbulence. Flaps up. Flaps are up. We still need to climb. It is quite windy at this height, and it was also in real life. And this is our valley where we were heading, but first we took a circle around the Bled Lake, so we took a little turn to the left, and climb. We were at about 5,000 to 6,000 feet at the end of our flight.
Well, not the end of flight, the end of our climb. At the end of flight, we were back on the airport, of course.
We are getting towards Bled now. Here I made a turn. Now we will level up thrust a little bit back in. We don't need. And here it was a turn around Bled Lake. The castle beautiful weather was today. And we certainly took advantage of it. And afterwards, we were heading for that valley. Here we had enough height. I will trim myself up. Here we had to watch out for other paragliders that were gliding here from this hill. It was as it was. Maybe a little on trimmer. I want to fly level. Let's see. There were paragliders gliding from this hill and then over above Bled Lake. But here is not very good to see the starting ramp. So we had to aim for this valley here. And with each turn you had to coordinate It was quite windy. Our speed was bouncing. Our aircraft pigeon. Here we lost some altitude, so let's go higher. Where we went. With this river and then at Mojstrana. To the right. Yes, this is the correct way. It was so windy, it was very difficult to keep the ball in the center. Let's go a little bit higher. The difference between real life flight we took, we were in real life at much higher altitude, around about 5,500, close to 6,000 feet. So we were flying above the valley, not in the valley like I'm flying it in flying simulator. Mojstrana. Very good. Almost as in reality. And here we took a right turn towards Jesenice. And also the clouds were building up. Wow. It's very difficult to use these pedals and ailerons. So we are back at 4,500, which is good height. Let's check the winds are pushing now us from the right side. Jesenice city, Akroni. Now we will start our descent towards airfield. Thrust a little out. Keep our speed round about 70. And we will start to descend. This is a photo I took, I think. From Akroni factory. Okay. We can see the airfield here. So we will fly a little bit to the left and then we will make a right. Now let's keep the speed around 70 knots. We can use flaps 1. And we can say that we are on long final. And we will be landing at runway 14 right. Stop landing. And we are...
Lima Juliet Bravo Lima traffic Cessna Sierra 5 Kilo Oscar Victor 6 miles northwest 4,800 feet inbound to land runway 14 right.
Now we have 70 knots and we are descending, maybe a little bit. So fast. Let's keep 500 feet per minute of descent at 70 knots. This is pretty much, maybe I can trim a little bit up. To 70 knots. This is good. Maybe a bit to another trim correction. We are now good. There is Cessna 152 on the road. We are now descending a little too fast. Our speed is increasing. But we are too high. Throttle out. Landing lights on.
Lima Juliet Bravo Lima traffic Cessna Sierra 5 Kilo Oscar Victor is on final runway 14 right to land.
Speed 70. Flaps 2. Nose down. Let's keep that 70 knots. Knots. The wind. Throttle back in a little bit. We are losing speed. Flare. And this is landing that our instructor did, because in a real flight you can do it if you know it, but it's much easier in the simulator. But we did some taxiing and using rudder and using power throttle, so there was also competition in position landing for gliders, so we had to wait a little bit here, because at that moment actually a glider was taking off, so we couldn't stay here because this is a runway, grass runway, and here we will stop now. So, and turn off our landing lights, strobe light, and actually we should turn off also our fuel pump, but this is something I did forgot to turn to engage. We need fuel pump also when we are landing. My mistake, but I'm only learning. And this is taxiing, and if you can see, you can taxi via rudder, smooth turns, or if you go with brake, it is much steeper. It's much. Narrow turn, not steeper, narrow turn, sorry. And here where we parked our aircraft and make a change, we had to use brakes because the turns were pretty narrow. Here in this restaurant we had a good lunch that was included in price. And here is pump station, and this is where we took changes. And if you see, you have to do a quite... And this is it. This was my first flight. And here you can thank your aircraft. But I will not do that because I will put my brake on. I will cut my motor out. I will turn off my nav lights and taxi lights. And thank you for watching.
At this point, I would like to ask you to follow me on Sierra 5 Kilo Oscar Victor on YouTube. I would like to say special thanks to Lesce Bled Airport for organizing such good and perfect event. We all enjoyed it a lot and are looking forward to increase our knowledge, maybe even take a pilot license exams. So thank you and goodbye, Sierra 5 Kilo Oscar Victor.